Hey, hey. Okay. Wow. It's been 3 years. As of 2 weeks from now? Yeah, 2 weeks. I looked at the date. I posted my last video in July of 2022. So it's been 3 years. So I'm checking in. It's been a while. I don't know what prompted me to do this. I went back and watched the last video I posted, which was a CD collection update from 3 years ago. I'm not going to do a CD collection update right now. I'm just going to go through some shit I've gotten recently, and we'll get caught up. We'll get reacquainted. If you've never seen me before, I'm Justin. I'm fucking with the light here. I'm going to do this video very raw, no editing. I'm going to upload it directly. I'm Justin. I play in a bunch of bands. I am into extreme metal, and I like talking about it. So if you stumble across this and you're new, hang around and listen to me ramble. If you know who I am, thank you for watching again. Sorry that it's been 3 years, but what can I say? So I'm just going to get into it, and I'll kind of keep you updated as to what's going on in my life along the way. So first, we are listening to the Hemdale Exhumed split. I got this today. It came in the mail today. Big Exhumed fan. I've loved Exhumed for 25 plus years. Never had this particular release. It just got re-released, so I picked it up. Matt Harvey from Exhumed, his distro / screen printing company, Darker Corners, is running a sale, and I think it's still going on. CDs are $6.66 and shirts are $16.66. So I got this and an Exhumed shirt. I want the LP of this, but I went ahead and snagged it since they had this for so cheap. I do not own any Exhumed vinyl. I have every album on CD, so it makes sense that just get this on CD. And it's kind of, surprising. I've never heard the Hemdale side of this, which it's playing right now, and it's fucking sick. One of those recordings that I just kept skipping years and years and years and years, saying, oh, I'll get that eventually. But it fucking rules. In the Name of Gore, Exhumed, Hemdale split. This is the brand new re-release on Hell's Headbangers, and it's just a all-time classic goregrind release. So stoked to have that. Okay, everything else is vinyl. I will first, I picked this up a couple weeks ago. So my band, I play in a death metal band called Father Befouled. I'm sure that lots of you, if you're following my channel, you know that, but if you're not, that's the death metal band I play in. We played the Maryland Death Fest a few weeks ago, at the end of May. Oh, about a month and a half ago. It was our second time playing MDF. We played 8 years ago as well. And one of the bands that played this year is General Surgery. So I have never really listened to much General Surgery. Here and there, I've put it on YouTube or something. Checked them out here and there, but never really devoted a lot of time to them. But along the way, there's a member of General Surgery from probably about 20 years ago. He played in the band for a few years in the early 2000s. He lives here in Atlanta where I live, and we're friends. And whenever he can, he will play with General Surgery. So since they're based in Sweden, of course, they're playing MDF. Since they're playing in the States, he went and played bass for them live at MDF. So since me and Glenn are friends, I made sure to go and catch their set. And holy shit, dude, they blew me away. One of the highlights of the fest. Easy. Huge standout highlight for me. And they play goregrind, kind of in the early Carcass vein, kind of in the early Exhumed vein. A little more like up-tempo, a little more moshy sometimes. Like good 90s moshy, not, now moshy. So as soon as I got back from MDF, I said, I want to buy everything General Surgery I can. And this is the first thing I picked up. This is their demos. Demos 1990. semi-recent release, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe it's been out a little while, but I picked this up from Hell's Headbangers recently, and it's just a really good demo collection, gold vinyl, laid out really well, and it's the early 1990 demos. Sounds fantastic. It's just, if you like that kind of stuff, you probably know what this is. So there's a chance that if you're watching this, you know who General Surgery is. This fucking rules. It's still readily available. All of their stuff's not easy to come by. Their albums are not easy to come by. This demo collection is the one thing that kept popping up in distros, so I grabbed a copy of it. Also, speaking of General Surgery, I know Glenn. He's a friend of mine. We've been friends for a few years. The guitar player in General Surgery now, there's two guitar players. One's the original member. He's the only original member. And the other is Urban Skit, who played in Crematory from Sweden in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And Crematory is one of my absolute favorite death metal bands. Right there is the flag for their one EP. They put out 3 demos and an EP, and that's the EP cover, Denial. Well, Urban plays in General Surgery, so I got to meet him, and I just totally fanned out talking about Crematory, which he was very gracious in talking to me about Crematory, and me telling him how much I fucking adore Crematory. So, and of course now General Surgery. So, also, on that same tip, Putrefaction sets in. Sorry for the glare of the ring light, but we got to have the light on here. Glenn from Atlanta, my friend, who's in General Surgery, and Urban from General Surgery playing Putrefaction sets in, which owes a lot to General Surgery. Also, both Urban and Glenn played in Regurgitate. Effortless Regurgitation of Bright Red Blood and Carnivorous Erection. I'm not sure which albums they were on, but they went from General Surgery to Regurgitate, and now this is their current project. They are based in South America, Sweden, and America. Putrefaction sets in. I picked this up at the same time, and it's just absolutely killer. One of the best modern as in, like, it's not modern sounding, but as in recent black vinyl, just killer early Carcass style gore grind. Absolutely phenomenal. Cannot recommend it enough. This is their album, Repugnant Inception of Decomposing Paroxysm. Absolutely phenomenal fucking album. And great guys. Shout out Glenn and Urban. Next, few months ago, I went to Austin, Texas for a week. While I was there, I visited my good friend Yosuke from NWN Productions. That's where NWN is based now. And he has a physical storefront, Eastern Front Records. So I went to go visit, catch up with Yosuke. I hadn't seen him in about 10 years. So we spent a long time together hanging out, reminiscing, talking about metal and metal nonsense. And I bought a bunch of shit in the store. I'm not going over all of it. I will in subsequent videos, I guess. I just grabbed literally like 5 or 8 random records that I had sitting here. One of them that I picked up was this Nocturnal Mortem record, To the Gates of Blasphemous Fire. This is a special donation edition to Ukraine. That's, of course, where they're from. This is an album, double vinyl, gatefold, of course. This is a very recent pressing, obviously. Inner sleeves. That's one of this record's been released 1,000 times. This is one of the covers of it. This is the other cover of it. The CD that I've had for years is that cover, is this one. And it's on the Ukraine flag vinyl, which is really cool. So, I got into Nocturnal Mortem very, very early. Probably, there's the other super 90s Photoshop black metal and all of the members there. I got into this band, particularly this album, late 90s. This came out in 97. And I read about it, Metal Maniacs. And at the time, I mean, in 1997, I was 16. So anything outside of America was super foreign to me. I didn't know where Ukraine was. I didn't know what kind of country Ukraine was. It was just, it might as well have been black metal from the moon. And I read about them. They had a cool name. When you're 16, Nocturnal Mortem sounds cool. So I checked them out. I don't remember how I came across it. It was the late 90s. I mean, the internet was, nascent. There was no downloading MP3s and shit. But I do remember Nocturnal Mortem had a website very early on. And maybe that's where I looked up some information about them. They had a website fucking 30 years ago. But I ended up coming across the CD probably in Tallahassee. There was a few record stores in Tallahassee I would go to pretty regularly when I was 16, 17 years old. And I bought this on CD at least 26 or 27 years ago. And I liked it because it was very cacophonous, very lush. It's raw. It's grim, raw black metal. They have two, at least on this album, there were two keyboard players. So there's lots of keys and symphonics but not like fappy troll fucking dancey synth. It's lots of stuff like weaving in and out and adding texture to the songs. It's funny. I absolutely adore this record. I listened to it the other day and I loved how it sounded, and I love the songs, and it's fast and it's visceral and it's evil. It's just a fantastic black metal record. But I remember how dense it was when I was a teenager trying to listen to it, and how I couldn't get past the production because it was so raw. And really nowadays, it's not really that raw when you think about that kind of stuff. So, Nocturnal Mortem, To the Gates of Blasphemous Fire. Adore this album. I've tried to keep up with them. The album that followed this one, Nechrist. I love that album too. I'd love to get it on vinyl. I have a CD of it. But love them. They've put out several in the past 10 years that I haven't kept up with. But fantastic. So speaking of raw, Dawn of the Black Hearts. I got this at MDF from Roy, Necroharmonic. Shout out Roy. Got to see him for the first time in a long time and talked to him for a while. So this was the first Mayhem release I ever owned. I bought this on CD at a show, also in the late 90s. Had read about Mayhem, knew the lore of Mayhem. Because at the time, like 98, 99, when I started traveling to shows as an older teenager, we were not that far removed from this happening. Well, this happened in 91, but from Euronymous dying, and then, of course, from De Mysterious coming out. So this was still pretty fresh, like, in the scene. But I remember, there's the story of, the guy shot himself, and they took pictures of him and put it on the cover of this album. And I bought a CD copy, one of the early CD copies on Warhammer, I think, Warhammer Records, maybe. I have that version of the CD, which I want to say is one of the early pressings of it. Side note, if you're new, I don't care about what pressing stuff is. I just say that for your benefit, because I know people like to know that kind of stuff. If I have a earlier rare pressing, cool. I don't seek them out. Unless very particular certain bands, I seek out stuff like that. Ultimately, I don't care. So, I bought that on CD. And I remember putting it in and being like, this is unlistenable. You can't hear it. You can't understand anything. It sounds like it was recorded through a concrete wall. It's just awful. And then I put it away. And then I got De Mysterious. And even De Mysterious was hard on the ears when I was, fucking 20 years old. But now, 25 plus years removed from that, I absolutely adore Mayhem. And this is one of my favorite recordings they ever did. I love all Mayhem. I don't love all their records, but I love every era of Mayhem. I love Attila. I love what they're doing now. But Dead is certainly my favorite vocalist. But these recordings are what black metal is to me. I have another copy of this on LP, but the copy I have is this picture, smaller, laid out as an upside down cross. But when I saw this with the blown up full picture, I said, I gotta have that one too. So I bought it from Roy. And I listened to it as soon as I got home. I adore Mayhem, and Mayhem is one of the reasons I really love black metal. They're one of those gateway bands for me. This color vinyl. Of course, this is a bootleg. It's very recent. It's been bootlegged 1,000 times. It's probably the most recent bootleg of it. But it's fantastic. If you are on the fence about black metal or new to black metal, don't start here. But this is absolutely fantastic. I just got a text from Yosuke. How ironic is that? Just popped up on the screen while I'm recording. So, speaking of, I also bought this from Roy, a live Slayer bootleg, Face the Fucking Slayer. I am a sucker for these live bootlegs. This is Reek of Death Records. They do a lot of these. Can you see that, Reek of Death Records? They do a lot of these live bootlegs. This kind of crazy looking vinyl. And this is a live show recorded in Orange County, California in 1983. So it's them, a very young Slayer. But it's just, I love putting this shit on. And just a band like Slayer, I know all the songs. I don't know all their songs because I stopped with Slayer at Divine. Believe me, I've tried. Listen, don't come on here defending God Hates Us All. Kick rocks with that shit. I'm 44 years old. Like, no. That fucking ship sailed, guys, okay? That record sucks. And I can't get into anything else. I've tried. Christ Illusion, such a cool cover art. Can't get into it. Repentless, such a cool cover art. Can't get into it. Anyway, I gotta get off my soapbox. Slayer. Early Slayer. Fucking rules. God, Exhumed rule. The Exhumed side just started. It's so good. Live Slayer bootleg. If I see them, I buy them. Love them. I've got half a dozen of these. Okay. Also at MDF, I got to see Hyrax. So if you are a subscriber and have watched my videos, you know that I'm not a big thrash guy. I love thrash. I like thrash bands, but it's just not something that I'm drawn to. I'm very picky choosy with thrash, and Hyrax is thrash to an extent, but Caton's vocals, especially on the early stuff, were way more like almost operatic. They're like it's like all of his vocals sound like the beginning of Angel of Death, like Tom Arai's scream. That's how Caton sung back then. And singed, grammar, English people, sung or singed, I'm not sure. I saw Hyrax, had never listened to them until a few years ago. We have a fest here in Atlanta every year called Mass Destruction. Please, if you ever come to Mass Destruction, they're not having it this year, they're having it in 26. Come to Mass Destruction. It is the destination for extreme metal festivals in the Southeast. Anyway, Hyrax played a few years ago. I watched their set. I enjoyed them. Lots of energy. And immediately I was like, Caton DePina is a fantastic frontman. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him later that night. We all sat backstage and shot the shit for a long time and just had conversations about metal. And he was such a fun person to be around. So now cut to in May, I played MDF. I was there. Hyrax played the same day we did. We were in each other's company a lot. And then Hyrax, along with General Surgery, put on the absolute show of the weekend. Go watch it on YouTube. Go watch Hyrax's set from MDF this year. I picked this up from some vendor while I was there because it was cheap, and I love 10-inch vinyl. This is a live set. No, this demo was recorded in 6 hours. A demo from like 84 or something. So, no. Maybe it is live. It doesn't say. Recorded September 17th. Oh, it's a demo. Okay. This is a demo. Recorded in 84. So, I bought this purely because I saw it and it looked awesome. And I love Hyrax and I love this man right here. So, I haven't even opened it yet. I need to throw it on. So, we got a few more here. I picked up this when I was at Eastern Front, Gallery of Suicide. I'm sure everyone watching is a Cannibal Corpse fan. I absolutely adore Cannibal Corpse. You've heard me talk about them ad nauseum in my videos. I am not an anti, George Fisher, I love Corpse Grinder era. I lean to the first 4 albums. I lean to the first 3 albums. I'm not even a big Bleeding fan. First 3 albums, but big Chris Barnes fan. But when I first got in to Cannibal Corpse, we were in between Vile and this coming out, and I had heard Cannibal Corpse, of course, but then I bought a comp, I don't know, 98, 99, when did this come out, 99 or 2000, somewhere in there. Does it say? Let's see, don't know off the top of my head. 1998. I didn't realize this was that old. So there was a comp around then that had the first song from this on there, I Will Kill You. And I had not heard Vile at that point. So that was my introduction to Corpse Grinder. And I love that song. Ended up buying this on tape. 98. Yeah, I want to say I was like 16 or 17 years old when this came out. So bought that on tape when it came out. I don't have it anymore. I wish I did. I don't know what happened to it. I've always had a soft spot for this record. So when I saw this at Eastern Front, had to snatch it up, had to get a copy of this. Might be my favorite Corpse Grinder album. A lot of them run together. I really like the last couple, the most recent albums. But like Torture and Kill and Skeletal Domain and Evisceration Play, they all run together. I can't tell you which songs are on which one, even though I like those albums. But have a soft spot for Gallery of Suicide. This album's sick. Okay, so another pickup at Eastern Front was this. This is, and I'm going to have to remember, Gatemaster. This is a Go to Warx release. Go to Warx is this boutique black metal label based out of China. And I have worked with them. There's 2 people. There's a guy and a girl. And the guy runs Go to Warx, and the girl used to run a label called Psychedelic Lotus Order. And one of my bands in Coffination, we put out a couple records on Psychedelic Lotus Order. Well, when we worked with both, we worked with Danny and his wife. But anyway, nowadays, because that was 15 years ago, nowadays, Go to Warx puts out these really, really nice limited edition releases. This is an extremely heavy-duty jacket, printed inside, real obi strip, very, very nice, expensive pressing jacket. And is the vinyl, it's on like a bronze vinyl. So I bought this totally blind. I said going into that record store, if he has anything, go to Warx, I'm gonna buy it. And this was the first one I saw. And it's black ambient, not dungeon synth, more just black ambient that like morphs into like really cold, dissonant black metal, kind of like Zaster. It sounds like Zaster. I put that out there, but it's fucking phenomenal. I want to say they are English too, but I highly recommend Go to Warx shit if you like nice pressings of stuff. And I highly recommend Gatemaster, this album right here. It's fantastic. So, I got one more. We're creeping up on 25 minutes here. Okay. Not sure if I have talked about this much on the channel, but I have. If you're friends with me on Facebook, I talk about this shit all the time. I'm a movie guy. I'm a fucking horror movie nerd. My favorite movie of all time is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You see, I've got an original poster hanging up there behind me. And I also have a poster from the, I can't point. I have a poster there from the 50th anniversary re-release from just a few years ago. And then that's a poster of the second one below it. I love this movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. It's the best horror movie ever made. It is the granddaddy. I'm not doing that right here. It's phenomenal. Back in April, when I visited Texas, I also visited a lot of the film locations from the movie. Went to the gas station, went to the cemetery, went to the house, which is now Hooper's Restaurant in Kingsland, Texas. And it was just this total fucking fan pilgrimage. to go see all these places from this movie that I absolutely fucking adore. So around that time, I had ordered this record, and it showed up in the mail right when I got home. But it's the score, the soundtrack from the original movie. Story goes is that when they created the music for this, they didn't save it. They lost it. They didn't keep it. No one knew where it was. And then people kind of bootlegged it through the years. They had ripped the audio from the movie and things like that. But somewhere along the way, I don't know the story. There's a big booklet in here about it. Somewhere along the way, Wayne Bell discovered it in his archives. Fantastic big booklet. It's fucking so good. All these pictures and everything. They found the original score. So they finally remastered it and put this out. Waxwork Records did this, who, if you're into soundtracks and waxwork, they do phenomenal work. It's funny because the movie is the greatest horror movie ever made. Full stop. That's it. It's the greatest horror movie ever made. The score to this is one of the darkest, creepiest, just unsettling, like nightmarish, ambient, fucking creepy soundscapes ever recorded. And standalone, if it was just made as a release, not related to this, it would still be that. It is phenomenal, and I cannot recommend this enough. If you like this movie, if you like horror, if you like unsettling sounds, get this. I have listened to this so many times since I got it a couple months ago. It is just absolutely fantastic. And this vinyl, this release, is so fucking phenomenal. And where that table is, I stood right there in that room a few months ago. Same spot. I can't believe it. I even kept the sticker off the fucking front of the package. So that's it for this one. I can't say that I'm back. I'll try to do these more often. I know it's been 3 years, and I say that every time. But I just, something fucking piqued my interest to come back and do this. What have I been doing? I've been playing music. Father Befouled has been full steam ahead. We put out a new EP late last year. We're working on a new album. Since the last video, we've toured Europe twice. Right after that video, we went to Europe for like 10 days. And then late last year, we went for about 3 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. Had a fantastic tour with our buddies in Fossilization. In 2022, we toured with Schnet from Prague. Fucking fantastic guys, fantastic bands. Love them all to death. So Father Befoul, we're working on music. I have lost 65 pounds since the last time you saw me on video, so I'm trying to be a little healthier. I have a beard now, so I didn't have a beard 3 years ago. No, I play death metal, and I talk about music. So stick around, and I'll try to keep coming back and talking about music. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's chat in the comments. I hope to see some old faces in the comments. And maybe you guys will keep me pumped, and I'll do one of these again soon. Talk to you later.